Hello, everyone. Coming up here on the Pro Wrestling Show presents the SummerSlam Night 2 review. We get everything set up. What went down to the biggest part of the summer, known as SummerSlam. We get everything started. Well, huge shocker is what the heck going on with Nick Aldis and Gunther. What's going on after they had that match yesterday? It was an impressive match, and now Nick Aldis back at SmackDown GM, and now he put Gunther in a match that you won't believe what happened. And Sami Zayn kind of thing in shock. And Sami Zayn was also shocked about this. Owens return. What's going on with that? We'll get to the latest, and plus we'll get to everything else. The World Championship match between Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. We'll get the Pro Wrestling Show started right here, right now, with the SummerSlam Night 2 review. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this edition of the Pro Wrestling Show. I'm your host, as always, Kitty Dix here. Glad you joined us on the Pro Wrestling Show. Join in the conversation using the hashtag Pro Wrestling. Connect. Don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe is caring. Tell a friend. Call a friend. Hit that subscribe button so you won't miss a thing. Let's not waste no time whatsoever. Let's get things started right here on the Pro Wrestling Show. We kick things off with this. We thought that Sami Zayn was going to go one-on-one with Finn Balor. We thought they was going to have a one-on-one match. We thought Sami Zayn and Finn Balor was going to fight, who's going to be the next number one contender for the WWE title. But those plans got changed upside down, and I mean upside down, when SmackDown General Manager Nick Aldis came back into his executive position after yesterday when he went against this man right here. You seeing it right here as I'm seeing it. These men were beating the holy crap out of each other. Now Nick Aldis puts Gunther in the number one contender spot. We thought at first it was going to be a triple threat match. Well, Gunther came out there, and Gunther had an opportunity to become number one contender for the WWE title. Well, those plans changed when Nick Aldis also said it's going to be a fatal four-way. None other, the returning KO, the fighter, the prize fighter, Kevin Owens returned. And Kevin Owens had something to prove, and he did tonight. Look at the reaction of Sami Zayn's face when he saw his best friend entering this match, making a fatal four-way. Now Sami's chances went from 20 to 50% to now 75% chance of winning. And I was like, oh, God. There was just that Kevin Owens returned back from major neck surgery. He came back 15 months later. And Kevin Owens was like he was ready. He was primed. He was able. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn had that stare down right here. Both men kind of looking like, what you going to do? What you going to do? They thought they were going to beat the heck out of each other. But they hugged each other. And then the fight had exploded. They had to fight out. It was every man for himself, a fatal four-way. Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens doing those little tope-citos splashes. Kevin Owens known for it. Kevin Owens like he was back in prime and ready in shape. And you can tell right here, Finn Balor taking it to Kevin Owens. Finn Balor was trying to do a suplex and stuff to Kevin Owens. Finn Balor tried to do a pinfall on Sami Zayn until Gunther made the save and stopped it. Throughout the whole entire match, even to the point that Sami Zayn did the Blue Thunder Bomb on Kevin Owens just to get the pinfall. Kevin Owens decided to reverse it with a stunner and pin his own best friend. Kevin Owens pinned Sami Zayn to become the new number one contender for the WWE Championship. So Kevin Owens will meet CM Punk on a future date. We just don't know when, but Kevin Owens getting the shot. But look at Sami Zayn, even more disappointed. Sami Zayn cannot catch a break, man. And I mean, Sami Zayn can't catch a break. He be this close of trying to be the number one contender, and then all of a sudden, his plans come out of the blue. So I guess Sami Zayn gonna have to kind of like realize that maybe he ain't meant to be WWE champion. It's just he had his run for 9 days, and that was good for him. He just missed the boat. And Kevin Owens now back in the saddle once again as the new number one contender, defeating Sami, Finn Balor, and Gunther to now get himself an opportunity at the WWE title. So we'll say, like we said, going to be a future date. We just don't know when, but we know where the future date we're going to be. So we'll keep an eye on that. Speaking of that, speaking of returns, nearly 10 years ago, Baron Corbin was in the U.S. Championship title picture. Baron Corbin returned 10 years later. As we told you on Predict the Outcome, Baron Corbin looked for some gold and looking for a reason for the season's beatings. Baron Corbin back into the picture, but Baron Corbin got to go against Trick Williams. Trick Williams, hype man, Lil Yachty, the rapper, came out there to hype up the crowd and get a lot out there. And Trick Williams, we wanted to show you Trick Willie. Trick Willie came out there with his lemon pepper steppers. Came out there and looking for a motivation. I wonder what Booker T, what my coach was saying. Booker T was saying out there, well, Trick Williams had no time. He didn't have to waste no time. Trick Williams had to get this off early. But look at Baron Corbin using his move, the end of days. And Baron Corbin ain't playing. Baron Corbin look like he wants to Baron Corbin looks like he wants to play shake, rattle, and roll outside the ring. And that's what Baron Corbin did. Trick Williams doing what his mentor do right here at the bookend, Booker T. And one day by Trick Williams, paying homage to Booker T. He was doing everything Arsenal like Booker T. Trick Williams kind of remind me of doing everything like Booker T, doing those axe kicks. Remember Booker T used to do the axe kicks back in the day in WCW and WWE? And Booker T did not waste no time whatsoever. Booker T wanted to be in the forefront. But Trick Williams did all he could do. You can tell right here, Yachty was a little bit concerned, but Trick Williams fell victim to Baron Corbin. Baron Corbin now your new United States champion. A lot of returns tonight. And like we said, Baron Corbin returning. And Baron Corbin looked like he wanted to become a champion. He is a champion now. He's the new U.S. champion. Who can recall 10 years ago when Baron Corbin went against John Cena at SummerSlam? 10 years later, Baron Corbin is back on the forefront again as U.S. champion. Speaking of that, speaking of another U.S. champion, Baron Corbin's fellow counterpart, the women's U.S. champion, Tiffany Stratton, was in that fatal, that five-way ladder match to determine who was going to be next. Tiffany Stratton came out there. Look at Jade Cargill paying homage to the purple one, Prince. Remember, Prince lived in Minnesota, and Jade Cargill paid homage to Prince. No, that's Michael Jackson, but Prince had another a catchphrase like "Purple rain, purple rain." Speaking of purple, Chelsea Green came out there. Chelsea Green looked like she wanted to become the women's interim champion. Could Chelsea Green do it? Only time will tell. Speaking of that, Charlotte Flair, the odds-on favorite to win it. Charlotte Flair came out there, her colors and the decorations and stuff. Charlotte Flair being more relaxed. Lash Legend. I thought she was gonna win this one. She was the odds-on favorite, winning the last spot. Lash Legend might want to bring some new hardware into the family since her husband lost his title earlier. Lash wanted to probably bring some title hardware into the household. Well, action get away with Charlotte going right after Jade Cargill and Charlotte Flair beating each other outside the ring. You know, it's a ladder match, so the way to win, you got to grab the belt and retrieve the belt, and you now the women's champ. Well, we can see this face off between these two black stallions, these sisters and stuff. Jade and Lash looking at just stare down at each other. That could have been a match right there. That's a WrestleMania match right there, you ask me. Well, Jade using her power to take down Chelsea Green. This whole match was that it was kind of all over the place. You see Charlotte Flair hanging above the ring. Charlotte Flair trying to reach the belt. And Charlotte Flair Almost did reach the belt. Charlotte Flair, like I said, Charlotte Flair reaching the belt, trying to grab it as much as she can and stuff. One thing about Charlotte, Charlotte ain't gonna play. So Charlotte Flair, um, like we said, Charlotte Flair is gonna do what she got to do to win. So Charlotte Flair doing that. You can tell right here, Lash Legend out in a down and out. Um, Jay right there trying to make sure Charlotte doesn't get get by and get away and stuff. So that made it kind of difficult and stuff. And look at Lash Legend right here doing a devastating power bomb onto Tiffany Stratton, dropping Tiffany down into the ladder. Ooh, that's nasty. That's nasty work right there. Plus, too, Charlotte getting trapped by two sisters by Jay and Lash that wanted to pull Charlotte down, but Charlotte didn't want to let go. These sisters, they wanted to go. They could be a tag team one someday. But you think Charlotte, Jay and Lash? Well, look at this. Tiffany Stratton decided to use her aerial tactics, and she went high springboard at the Chelsea Green, took her down. Charlotte and Jay was trying to focus on each other, trying to beat the holy crap out of each other. That they didn't pay attention to Tiffany Stratton. Look at this. Chelsea Green was trying to get her opportunity as well. Chelsea was trying to go for the belt until the baddies, Jade's baddies came out there. Jade baddie, B-Fab, and Michigan came out there. B-Fab and Michigan came out there, and B-Fab and Michigan trying to help Jade win the women's title and stuff. And B-Fab and Michigan. One thing about B-Fab Michigan, when they gonna realize that Jay ain't using y'all? Jay ain't trying to help y'all. They trying to use y'all and stuff like that, trying to get over and stuff. But maybe one day, who knows? But I wouldn't let Jay use me. Like I said, but to each his own. Well, we get to this in the final closing moments. Even Charlotte was trying to get her hands on Jay. Chelsea trapped in the middle of the ladder, couldn't get herself up. Charlotte and Jay really was trying to fight each other for common ground to get the title belt. We know both women know a thing too, holding the championship. Well, it just wasn't enough. Chelsea Green, Jay, and Charlotte got pushed out the ladder, and now look, Chelsea Green rolled herself up like a mini Undertaker, and now Chelsea Green holds the belt, they said the belt holds the purse. Chelsea Green, now your new interim women's champion. Chelsea Green did something that nobody didn't think she was going to do. Chelsea Green now is your new interim women's champion. Congratulations to Chelsea Green. Well deserved by Chelsea. Chelsea earned this opportunity after being held down so many times. Even you push for on Real and stuff. Chelsea Green now getting the accolades that she so richly deserved. Now Chelsea Green back into the saddle as the new interim women's champion. So congratulations to Chelsea on that opportunity. Chelsea Green did it. She did it her way. So congratulations to Chelsea on that. All right. We go from Chelsea Green's celebration moment to this right here. Danhausen. You can tell right here. Danhausen went against Dominic Mysterio in the Money's on the Pole match. Danhausen trying to get his situation going. Danhausen fighting everybody. Danhausen. You tell right here, Danhausen. Even right here, one of those mini Danhausen took out JD Madonna, and JD didn't feel the pain right there. Even Dominic Mysterio wanted the money. Dominic Mysterio looks like one thing about Dominic Mysterio, he ain't finna let that slide. I can't blame him. I mean, that's money right there. That's your own money. That's the group's money. And all of a sudden, you got the well, we loved Jade Cargill too, but we want to go back to Dominic. Dominic was really trying to get the money and stuff. Dominic been in a lot of high profile matches at SummerSlam. We said Dominic with the custody of him at one time. Now Dominic Mysterio, we said he didn't see this one coming. But, Dominic had to pay a hefty price. I can tell you that right now. Even to the point that I told you earlier, Dan, the more of those minis came out there trying to help Danhausen. I think Danhausen helping his fellow brethren. That's one thing I can tell you right now about Danhausen. Danhausen taking it to you know who? Danhausen trying to his money. Danhausen want to get his money. One thing about Danhausen, Danhausen wants to make sure his money is that safe into the Danhausen family. I can tell you that. Remember, I told you earlier on Predict the Outcome earlier today that Joe Henry might make an appearance, and he did. Joe Henry coming out there, making an appearance. Joe Henry coming out there to help situate the situation and stuff like that. Joe Henry did do so. Joe Henry said he ain't playing. One name about Joe Henry. Joe Henry said, "Hey, say his name and he will appear." I believe in Joe Henry. Joe Henry did do so. One thing about Joe Henry. Joe Henry said, "Hell no, you ain't finna do that." Joe Henry even brought a guitar out there to even up the odds, and Joe Henry saying that he wants to make sure that that Danhausen win this match fairly and square. So Joe Henry came out there to even it out. Even Danhausen used his magic, shot Dominic. Dominic was on top of the pole. Danhausen found the way to win. Danhausen wins. The money's on the pole. So Danhausen, you'll win along with the help of Joe Henry and a host of others. Danhausen getting the job done. So congratulations to Danhausen on his victory. Well, we go to this right here. The Chad Gable returning to his hometown of Minnesota. Chad Gable trying to win the Intercontinental Championship, the one title that I really think he should have been Intercontinental Champion years ago, if I want to be honest about it. But Chad Gable, I think hype played a part of him not winning the championship, and I think that's unfair. But hey, this is now, so we're gonna look for now. Well, he went against Penta, the current Intercontinental Champion. Penta, look at that. That's a nice photo right there of Penta. Penta coming out there, and Penta coming out there. Penta zero no fear. Imagine Penta being at SummerSlam. I would never imagine. Both men came out to SummerSlam tonight to show respect to each other. Both men saying that if hey, if it comes to it, we're gonna do what we need to do. You're gonna bring your game. I'm gonna bring my game. We're gonna have a good match, and it turned out to be a good match. Well, so both men trying to show that either of them wants to show a competitive matchup, and that's what it's all about, competition. At the end of the day, it's about competition. Chad Gable respected Penta. Penta respects Chad Gable. And that's really that matters right there when you think of it between them, between Penta and Chad Gable. But the match turned out to be under a hitch. Both men started out, you see Chad Gable hitting the drop kicks to Penta. Penta also trying to get use that move that he's been doing. That move that he's been using in Lucha Underground. Penta doing the same motion, trying to break that man's arm, and almost did. He did, but Chad Gable found the way. Major Penta even did devastating maneuver, even to the point that Chad Gable did something here, an arm bar to Penta. And, Chad Gable delivered the ankle lock and made Penta tap out. And Chad Gable wins the Intercontinental Championship. Chad Gable, your new Intercontinental Champion. It took a while, but Chad Gable finally made it. I think tonight, they were trying to make tonight's SummerSlam all about people who had missed opportunities and stuff like that. Stuff, but Chad Gable winning tonight, winning the Intercontinental Championship for the first time. You can tell he was emotional, he was crying. When you win something like that, your emotions go all over the place and stuff. You think of it and stuff like that. But Chad Gable did it. Chad Gable did it his way, winning the coveted Intercontinental Championship like Bulldog, Bret Hart. Who can remember that SummerSlam battle? Shawn Michaels and Razor Ramon from '95. Rock and Triple H '98. A whole bunch of SummerSlam matches. Now Chad Gable in the mix. He celebrated with Penta. Penta put the belt on him like Hogan and Warrior. Remember Hogan and Warrior way back in the day? When Hogan versus Warrior for the WWE title. What a moment it was for Hogan and Warrior. Chad Gable now finally holds some gold. And congratulations, Chad Gable. Chad Gable was even celebrating with his family. Chad Gable celebrated the moment. Chad Gable celebrated with his family. And probably his friends at SummerSlam too at this moment. Moment like this at SummerSlam. So what a moment it was to do for SummerSlam, and did so. Chad Gable finally made it to the mountaintop. So congratulations to Chad Gable winning the coveted Intercontinental Championship. What a moment it was for SummerSlam. SummerSlam history. A SummerSlam moment in time and stuff. Congratulations to Chad Gable winning the Intercontinental Championship. Yes, he did. So we saw that tonight as well. So looking forward for Chad Gable winning. All right, we go to this right here. The main event. The main event of SummerSlam was Seth Rollins going against Roman Reigns. Seth Rollins even had a Shield moment right here. Seth Rollins even paying homage to the Shield. Don't forget about the Shield. Seth Rollins did at that time, and Seth Rollins trying to do for the Shield at that time and stuff like that. So Seth Rollins trying to live his moment and stuff. Seth Rollins even said he was wearing colors. I don't know what the colors was. Seth Rollins showing that he was, I guess, part of the Shield way back in the day. So Rollins like he was happy and elated. Well, the tribal chief himself, Roman Reigns, came out there. Roman Reigns came out there to with an ovation of his own. Roman Reigns came out there standing tall, standing jack physique all over the place. Roman Reigns was ready. Even to the point Roman Reigns came out there with his career highlights. Roman 105 days world's champion. Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins had that confrontation, and what a confrontation it was between Roman and Seth. The final confrontation, the last dance, that was some people want to put it between these two men, and what a matchup it was between Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. The match started off real heavy, like throughout the whole entire match. You can tell right here, Roman Reigns using the drive-by, one of his signature maneuvers and stuff. Roman trying to get the upper hand advantage. Roman Reigns doing so, getting Seth Rollins with a drive-by. Then with those clotheslines, so Roman Reigns using those thunderous clotheslines to Seth multiple times throughout the whole entire match. Seth Rollins using a sling blade, kind of like reminiscing like his time in the Shield, using the shin blade as his arsenal as well to set this off. As well as this right here, Roman himself fighting outside the crowd, and they did fall outside the crowd, trying to get the upper advantage and stuff. Plus, you can tell right here, Roman himself using the going outside the ring, trying to make a point and stuff. Throughout, you can tell Seth Rollins was in pain and really deep pain and stuff like that. Seth Rollins, you can tell you can just tell by Seth Rollins's his control, how much pain he can tolerate and stuff. He did. Like Seth Rollins realized, like, yeah, Lee, man, you hurting me to death. They even went from outside to the table, the announce table. Seth put Roman putting Seth through the table. I think Roman Reigns setting up Seth. Like Seth Rollins, then he realized that what went down and stuff. Seth Rollins was in motion and infatuated in pain. Roman Reigns punishing Seth Rollins throughout the whole entire match. Even Seth Rollins got the upper hand right here by punishing Roman, taking Roman down. Roman feeling the effects of a power bomb through the table. Roman Reigns didn't see that one coming. And then another one, Seth Rollins paying homage to his mentor, Triple H, delivering the pedigree. Delivering the pedigree throughout, trying to soften up Roman Reigns. Then Roman hitting that Superman punch. Implied that Superman punch with precision. Bunch of precision right there between them. So we saw that. Then Seth hit the curve stomp right here. Trying to curve stomp him, stomp him off. Like, set him off. Then Roman with another Superman punch. Man, these folks like to do moves at the move. Seth did another third comp. It was going back and forth between these two men, even to the point that Roman had to bring in the guillotine choke, trying to take Seth Rollins' air out. Instead of Seth Rollins was kind of like out of balance and stuff. Seth Rollins didn't know what to expect. Roman implied it so gentle and stuff. Onto Seth. Seth was kind of almost about to pass out. Until Roman did another Superman punch. I'm telling you, they was doing Superman punch at the punch at the punch. He was doing it to disserve. Roman hit his high end spear. We thought Roman was going to hit the pinfall and trying to take Seth Rollins down. Roman kept on beating on Seth Rollins without pinning the man. Should go on pin the man, then you could do whatever. Well, Seth wasn't done there. Seth Rollins decided that he wanted to take issue in Reigns, also to the point what he had going on and stuff. See Seth Rollins taking Roman Reigns, taking the play by Roman Reigns playbook by delivering a spear to Roman. Roman didn't see that one coming. Well, Roman decided to do what Seth was doing. His move, the curve stomp. So it was move after move. They were stealing each other's moves out the whole entire match. Then Seth Rollins did a paying tribute to their shit brethren, John Moxley, doing that clothesline and stuff. Everybody doing paying tribute and stuff. Right, and then look at this, Roman paying tribute to John Moxley by doing the double arm DDT, what Moxley used to do. Or you think Moxley's gonna do something on AEW to pay tribute to them? You never know. But this was the moment of the match right here. This is what I thought. Thought Roman Reigns was gonna get payback like he did at WrestleMania 40 when Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns decided to use the chair and use on Seth Rollins and instead of Cody. Well, Roman said he was beneath that. He didn't need the chair. And Roman said he's going to do what he needs to do. Roman Reigns, and the roles were reversed again. Seth Rollins was like he was going to go back in time and do the same move to Seth. But Seth was going to do that to Roman. They delivered to hit the chair on him, but that just didn't happen. Both men stood at each other. It was like they stood 10 toes down at each other. It looked like they wanted to go at each other. And Roman and Seth kept on fighting. But this was another critical moment of the match. Roman accidentally speared the referee. The referee got speared out his boots. And when the referee got speared out his boots, these two men looked at each other again and wanted to beat each other again. And I can tell you right there, Roman decided to drop the chair and go do the Superman punch on Seth. Seth wanted to do the same thing again. This match was just all over the place. Seth decided to do another pedigree. Then Roman decided to hit it with another spear to Seth Rollins. And Roman Reigns pinned Seth Rollins to get the victory and finally put this monkey off his back. Roman Reigns emerged victorious over Seth Rollins. 1, 2, 3. So Roman Reigns finally got that. Like they said, the end of the Shield has come to an end. Roman Reigns came out there and put his hand out just to show his Shield brethren and stuff. Like Roman looked like his guts about a little bit, like he's about to be flabby a little bit. Wow, Roman Reigns like he been in the gym, but both men looked at each other. And you can tell both men looked at each other from across. Both men, like I said, Roman came out there to make fences, men fences, and did so. Seth came out of nowhere, and Seth put his hand out, and both men showed that they had history, but they can move forward and move on to another endeavor. So Roman Reigns won over Seth Rollins, but they showed that they had mutual respect. Like I said, Roman Reigns ends the Shield story. The Hounds of Justice has the last story. The last dance has come to an end, and Roman Reigns has retained his world title. We're gonna have to see what's next for Roman coming up after winning, who his next challenger might be coming up. The Roman retained the world championship tonight. Let's get back to it. Roman Reigns still your world champion. Chad Gable wins the Intercontinental Championship for the very first time. Congratulations, Chad. You can tell he was emotional. Chelsea Green wins the Women's Interim Championship, so she'll be meeting Rhea Ripley at a future date. We just don't know when, but Chelsea Green now the Interim Women's Champion. Congratulations to Chelsea. Also to the return of Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens returns to adds himself into a fatal four-way along with Gunther and Nick Aldis. These two were at each other's throat yesterday, beating the holy crap out of each other. Now they're at side, but Kevin Owens wins over Sami Zayn, Finn Balor, and Gunther to become the new number one contender for the WWE title. And Dominic Mysterio loses to Danhausen. Like Danhausen gives himself a win. Danhausen, wins, keeps the money on the pole matches where he wants to. And Baron Corbin, now your new U.S. champion again. Wow. Times has changed. All right. Thanks for watching. We're going to leave you with Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins embracing each other, bearing the hatchet, and now they can finally move forward with their own paths. Thank you for watching the SummerSlam predicted outcome, SummerSlam review for night 2, I meant to say. Thank you for watching the whole entire SummerSlam coverage, predicted outcomes, and reviews for this whole weekend. Thank you for watching. I've been your host, Kendrick Dixon. So long. We'll see you tomorrow for the Raw Ring Report here on the Pro Wrestling Show.